It's Thursday, July 14th, 2011. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. After a long hiatus, we are back to talk about fucking nothing.
Let's do this. It's all your idea.
It is my idea, because you know what? I had an idea.
It's all you.
No idea.
It's all you.
I got nothing.
That's all right. We got nothing.
We got nothing. We are nothing. We are. So yeah, we.
Why and why is it that we have nothing?
Well, number of reasons.
What is the number one reason?
Number one reason is that stuff's happening in my, as in Rim's personal life, involving work and possibly career changes and such that are a big deal. So I didn't finish reading Foundation.
You had how long?
I started reading it a day and a half ago.
How long ago? How long has this been the book club book?
A while.
How long have you had the book in your possession?
While.
And how short is the book?
The book's gonna take me about another hour to read.
So how many hours between when I announced the book club book and now did you spend, say, for example, drawing boxes on your desktop?
I have not drawn yet more than one box on my desktop at a time because of that College Humor video.
Okay.
You know what I've been doing?
Playing Team Fortress 2.
Or
generally dicking around.
I played Team Fortress 2 once in that entire span.
All right. How many hours did you spend, quote, dicking around?
Not so much, actually. So,
really?
Actually, I've been working on stuff. Because, we're doing our PAX stuff is coming up, so I've been editing together the other two panels we did at PAX East last year to get them online. So rather than duplicating panels as we always have every year, where if you go to PAX Prime, you basically see the old stuff now from PAX East. We're going to mix it up. But I'm trying to put a lot of the stuff that PAX people need to see, but they just couldn't get into the room or whatever online. So I'm working on that. I'm working on some pony videos that I want to finish now.
Yeah, didn't you say you would do them every Wednesday, but meanwhile you've missed 3 Wednesdays?
Oh, not RFE. We need to record some new ones before I want to put up more old ones. Yeah. Mostly because we recorded them all in one go, so we keep going back to the same few. Like, I got to intersperse a different kind of episode in between all those episodes. Anyway. Plus, we recorded that last few kind of hastily at the last second. And, Kineticon happened. We're the heads of the panels and workshops department, which meant, the week before the con, I was just dealing with bullshit every day.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're back in business now.
Yeah, we're back.
Returning to our regular schedule.
Would have done a Tuesday show. Got a lot of Tuesday stuff to talk about. But I had to go do something that, again, is related to careers and money and traveling the world doing exactly what it is that I want to be doing.
We would have done a Monday, Wednesday this week, right? Because, we last did a Tuesday, Thursday week, but the problem is we've now actually scheduled gaming every other Tuesday and every other Wednesday. So when we're not doing a Wednesday show, we're doing board games, and we're not doing a Tuesday show on Tuesday, we're doing a Burning Wheel.
Yeah.
So the thing is, so now because of that, we can't shift the Geek Night schedule. It's locked in. So like, for example, if we do a Tuesday, Thursday week and we miss the next week, we're going to do 2 Tuesday, Thursday weeks in a row with a blank week in between, and instead of
flank.
Where in the past we would have switched to Monday, Wednesday. Anyway.
Yep. So lots of stuff. Also, ever since we scheduled those things, I've just been doing a lot more. I think it's because the sun is out.
I've been home a lot
warm.
less.
I've been out doing shit like every day.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is, I think, the busiest summer of my entire life.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I realized I have more things I want to plan that require an entire weekend than there are weekends left of summer already.
That's why we got to retire.
Yeah, we got it. Well, we'll see. For this new job thing, we'll see how much money I have in a few years.
So, there's an interesting thing that happened, right? This dude in Indonesia, right, he had a camera.
No.
And he left the camera in the woods, maybe by accident, maybe on purpose. We don't know. He left the camera in the woods, and some monkeys came, took the camera, and took photos of themselves.
Oh, good for them.
And the photos are pretty cute. They're pretty cute monkeys. Someone noticed that these photos had copyright notices on them, right?
Well, clearly, these are for the monkeys, because the monkeys took the pictures. They're their pictures.
Right, so there was a discussion over who had the copyright. But the news agency of the journalist who owned the camera sent a message to the site where people were discussing this.
Right, it was what, Tech Dirt?
Yeah. and was like, "Hey, take those down. We own the copyright on those."
Oh, wow. Not only that, it looks like TechDirt responded and saying basically, we don't believe you have copyright, and now they're like refusing to talk to them.
Yeah, so this is really interesting, right? Because it's like, okay, what if let's say I was gonna make a painting, right? And all I did was I took a canvas, right, and I took 3 buckets of paint and I put them in front of the canvas, right, and I put it in like a museum or something. So there's 3 buckets of paint, 3 paint brushes, and a big empty canvas, and it's an art installation. And I leave it there, right? And then, of course, it's in a museum, and people come in and they start painting. Blah, 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 blah. Do I own the copyright of the painting?
Well, in that case,
it's
I think
part
it would
of my
depend.
art installation.
Do people have to agree to some sort of terms when they enter the museum or the exhibit?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe it says, anything you do is now art and property of the museum or something.
All right, maybe. Now, what if I put the buckets of paint, say, I just leave them in a precarious position?
Accidental art.
And some sort of, I do it in California, and I wait for an earthquake, and it's basically set up so that when an earthquake happens, then the art's going to be made.
Well, again, our law, it's obvious. The mole men get the copyright.
That's right.
I guess, I mean, the accidental art is even separate from all this, because who gets the copyright in accidental art? I don't know, and I don't know any lawyers who know.
Yeah, how about that photo that was around the internet yesterday or the day before of the accidental Western scene, that was made by the water splashing up against this pier?
Poseidon.
Yeah. Poseidon.
It's Poseidon's copyright.
Poseidon can have whatever copyright
he
he wants.
Poseidon,
he shows up in court and he says, that belongs to me, then yeah, it does.
You don't fuck with Poseidon, because he's a dick.
He's my man. He's the best.
He's a dick.
He's the best.
Or what about, there was that College Humor video of the seagull that stole that guy's camera?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't know what the law is about that, but I don't think any human should have the right to copyright to accidental art.
Now, what if I steal something that belongs to you, right? So I steal your car.
All right, you steal my car.
And then I make a sculpture out of the car that I've stolen from you. Obviously, I'm guilty of Grand Theft Auto, but besides the point.
I believe I get my car back because whatever you do with stolen property, whoever ends up owning it, if it's determined to be stolen, they're fucked and you just get it back.
But it is no longer your car. It has been transformed, right? So while you do own the car, your car doesn't even exist anymore. It is now a work of art that is a sculpture that intellectually belongs to me. I'm still guilty of Grand Theft Auto.
I think I should get the art.
You should get the art.
I think I should get the art.
Even though.
I think I should.
But what about all the other things that are in the art that weren't yours?
Where'd he get them? Did he steal them from other people?
No, I bought the rest of the parts at Home Depot.
If I were a judge and I had discretion, I would say I would transfer the copyright to the guy who owned the most expensive thing that was stolen.
Yeah, that's just a common sense sort of eye for an eye situation.
Let's go
but I'm just saying.
Let's use a simpler example. I steal your air conditioner.
All right.
I take all the copper out of it. I melt it down. I sell it to a guy. He then makes a different air conditioner out of it. Do you get the air conditioner or what?
How about you take the copper out of my air conditioner, melt it down, and make a statue out of it? Make a little mini bust.
Now, luckily, we have this thing called currency in a modern society. So I think in all these cases, it comes down to you get from the person who caused the crime or committed the crime money equivalent to what you lost.
That's an obvious just solution to the problem. But I'm talking about
who owns the copyright?
Yeah, if you're gonna think copyright should exist.
In the statue case, the guy who made the statue has the copyright on the statue, even though the state's going to take the statue away from him.
Let's pretend it's a perfect world or some sort of copyright is reformed in the way that we nerds would like it to be reformed.
There's no it doesn't matter then.
Well, but who would you give attribution to?
The original artist.
Really? With the monkey?
In this case, I think because...
Or the camera owner.
Does it come down, did the monkey do it on purpose? Because if it's completely accidental, then it should go to no one.
You can't know if a monkey did it on purpose or not.
Now, here's the same thing. What if I set up a camera that's time-lapse and I just get a time-lapse of a sunset? Is that my art? If I film a completely natural phenomena, I mean, I did the act of filming. Our copyright law already covers that's my work.
Yep.
My picture of the sunset is mine, even though the sunset itself is not mine.
Well, this is the thing, right? It's like, remember the case that was pretty recent about the guy who had the album cover that was a pixelated version of a different album cover?
And it's not like he just put it in Photoshop and ran a filter. It was a redrawn art that was clear parody of or homage to the original.
Yeah, but it's like, even if he did, it's still, you take one thing, you apply creativity and something else to that thing to create a new work of art, right? It is a transformative act of creation. You took something that existed, you added creativity to it, and then made something new.
Now I feel that our copyright law,
how much the degree of transformation is completely subjective, right? It's like I could take a Monet and change one dot on it. Right, and it's
I would argue the best way to define that would be a slightly loose definition that would give the courts more leeway.
I think the courts do have that leeway.
Yeah, but I would use something.
Not sure, though.
I'm saying the definition I would use is something along the lines of, if it could be to a reasonable person a full replacement for the original work, then it is not transformative. It is in fact to be considered the original work. So if I take Citizen Kane and I add 1 pixel to it in the middle, it's still Citizen Kane, and I don't get any rights to that. I don't get Citizen Kane and dots. But if I change the end, then it's lit. Now, maybe, in the very least, if I make a new ending to Citizen Kane...
But the thing is, right, so Citizen Kane and dot, right? You might think, okay, it's just a replacement for Citizen Kane. But if you could present it in such a way as to where it would be a really nose stuck up kind of work of art, like, 1 pixel in this movie has been changed. Can you find it? It's like, oh, if you presented it in the right way, you could, right? It's not about what you actually...
But, and here's my down argument. What is the stated purpose of copyright?
For the progress of the useful arts and sciences.
So our only goal is to ensure that more works are made. That's our goal. We want artists to make more works. We don't care why or how they make them. All we care about is that more art is made.
Actually, it doesn't say anything about quantity. It says progress.
So we want art to progress in some general fashion.
Yeah, progress doesn't mean more. It just means progress.
Well, you could
progress
argue
mean more and or better or
that
one or the other or both?
You could argue that it's at least one obvious...
According to who?
One obvious reading of that
My
would
progress is another man's degress.
We want painters to continue to make paintings. We want scientists to continue to science.
Maybe we're better off without paintings. That would be progress. Someone might say so.
I know, and I would look at them and I would just kind of laugh and smile and let them go on their merry idiot way.
I'm just saying, someone might say so. It's subjective.
But if our only goal is this, generally we want people to continue to create regardless of the real world incentives. Like, we want there to be a system. Copyright is there to get people to continue to create and to not just give up, to not just stop. Because if there was zero copyright or zero patents or anything, then there's no reason to make something if it costs you anything to make it, unless it's something you personally want to be made.
Well, there would still be plenty of people making stuff, but there would be some forms of making that would go away, or some structures around forms of making that would go away.
Yep. So, but if this is our goal, one way to fix everything is to enslave all of the artists and scientists and force them to make. That would, other than violating other amendments...
That wouldn't really work.
It would violate some amendments to our Constitution, that's for sure. Or we could at least say that a natural work is not subject to copyright because no law will cause the earth to more or less make cool things happen.
Oh, that is an excellent point.
I'm very proud of that. I was thinking about this all day.
Yeah, because
I was looking at that Western scene and I was like...
You're trying to, ideally, the idea is you're trying to create an incentive for people to create more work. Well, accidental art doesn't need an incentive. It will happen no matter what the law is.
Yep.
And it won't happen in more or less quantity no matter what the law is.
Now,
so there's no reason to incentivize accidental art. Therefore, it's actually the greatest benefit to society to put all accidental art in the public domain.
Yes. Now, the monkeys are a little trickier. Would the monkeys have taken pictures of themselves had the guy not put his camera there?
Well, what if he left the camera there by accident or on purpose? Does it matter?
So if he left it there by accident, clearly there is no possible argument that he should get the copyright because it was accidental art. He would not have been
But do we need to
incentivized.
give people an incentive to leave their cameras in the woods?
So what if he left it there on purpose?
And he did it in Indonesia. Does that matter?
Oh, Indonesia. So say he did it on purpose. He's like, I'm going to get these monkeys to take pictures of themselves. how do we want to incentivize that? Because if he doesn't have the right to that copyright, then other people will be less inclined to do similar things, and we will lose this precious monkey-driven art resource.
But at the same time, the reason, right, photography, right, is, I read this great article. The guy talks about, it was about the album cover, right? He's like, look, photography is really copying, right? You're capturing something that exists. You don't make the thing that you took a picture of. Right? But there is a significant artistic contribution in the lighting and the framing.
Anyone who disagrees with that, look at a picture taken by someone who knows what they're doing and then look at my Flickr.
Right. And that is the reason that photography has copyright, is because the photographer and also the filmmaker or whoever puts a significant amount of extra things into it that, they are taking a copy of the real world, but adding a great deal to it to create an artistic image.
Having chosen the perspective.
Yes.
Just to forget
many,
all the
many
other
things,
stuff.
right? But
so what if the guy made
a
special camera designed for monkey shenanigans?
Oh. See, that would give, right? But see, the thing is, he didn't. So in this case, it's really, he didn't act, even if you want to incentivize people leaving cameras in the woods, the guy didn't put any creativity into it. The monkeys put all the creativity into it and work. The monkeys were the artists.
There is already precedent for taking into account intent. I mean, look, first-degree murder is when you had malice aforethought, as opposed to second-degree murder, crime of passion. So we already say you went out intending to kill versus you suddenly decided to kill versus manslaughter of you didn't go out intending to kill, but you ended up killing.
Yeah, it's like he didn't frame the shot, he didn't light the shot, he didn't do anything. The monkeys did it.
So it's second-degree copyright.
I don't know.
Second-degree monkey shot. I don't know. Monkeys.
I don't know.
I keep thinking in my head, I just have that da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, da-da-da in the loop.
Let's just not say what that is.
Let's not say what
Only
that is.
cool people will know what that is.
They're all going to know.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, bop, bop, bop.
All right.
So we could raise a more interesting question.
It's Thursday, though.
Monkeys. You could argue pretty straight up that there are monkeys who are more intelligent on any human, like any standard that we would make, than some number of the human race.
Do you want to make monkeys citizens? They're not citizens. It doesn't matter how intelligent they are.
I'm not
there
saying
are dolphins that are more intelligent than children, but they're not citizens.
I'm not saying they're citizens, but you get copyright even if you're not a citizen.
No, you don't.
You
don't have rights, period.
So no rights at all? Not even basic human rights, UN Charter?
No, not if you're an animal.
No, I didn't say animal. I said citizen.
But they're not citizens.
What if you're just a human, but you're not a citizen? Scott, do you know if I say
I was talking about if you're an animal.
You just kept saying citizen. Say I am a British citizen. I'm in the U.S. I make a work. Where's that copyright? Do I have a copyright in the U.S.?
Yeah, because there's international treaties and shit.
What if I'm a stateless individual? That's happened every now and then. I have no nation that is my home. I'm not a citizen of any nation. I'm in the United States. Somehow.
Okay.
I make a copyrighted work. Do I get protection?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What if I am robbed? Do I have any recourse? Can I go to police?
If you're stateless?
Yeah, if I'm stateless.
No, if you go to police, they'll just deport you.
Will they? Are you sure?
Yes.
Where to?
I don't know. IMF will figure it out. I mean, IMS. Not International Monetary Fund. Immigration.
I think you let slip. Anyway. So, but in the case of the monkey, if they have enough intelligence, like if we, I guess it would come down to if we could observe them creating, and we have observed them painting and things. At what point are humans going to be forced to recognize the intelligence of a non-human species?
When we can talk to them.
Yeah. So when do you think that day will happen, and what do you think it'll be?
It already happened.
Well, when? What?
Sign language monkey.
Nah, sign language monkey. So should that monkey be granted honorary U.S. citizenship?
I would have.
Should we stop experimenting on chimpanzees? Or should we at least heavily restrict it? More so than we do now?
It depends.
Because it's kind of like doing brain experiments on babies.
It depends.
Yeah, it does depend. I don't have easy answers. Notice how I'm the one asking all the questions and not saying, oh, well.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Rib. Should we stop experimenting on chimpanzees?
I have a complex opinion.
Really? That's surprising. All right. Do you have a thing of the day to go with your complex opinion?
It's not thing of the daytime yet. I want to talk about internet
How is it
rage.
not thing of the daytime?
Internet rage. Because Netflix.
I get every motherfucker in this room.
I love internet rage because it's so massive and so furious and yet so impotent.
Okay.
So Netflix raised its prices from $10 a month to $15.98.
Shit.
And the internet went apeshit.
Mm-hmm. Well, it only raised the prices depending on what you get.
Well, they removed...
So they raised them on me because I have unlimited and one disc.
You know what? That's what almost everyone had.
They want you to get rid of the one disc.
They do. The thing is, before...
Most of their one discs are scratched.
Basically, they're trying to, in my opinion, drop the DVD half of their business altogether.
No kidding.
And that's
the thing is,
move.
I actually, now that I have Netflix, actually, the DVD part is actually kind of more important than the streaming part.
Because there's a lot of stuff that isn't in the streaming.
Right, because the streaming selection is pretty weak sauce once you've watched all the good stuff, and only a good new thing comes in pretty rarely. And the thing is, with the DVDs, I'm using those to go through IMDb Top 250, which the vast majority of which is, 100% of which is on DVD.
Yep.
And not a very small percentage of it is on Netflix streaming.
All they have to do is, with this price increase, if they just continue to add to the streaming repertoire, I'll be okay with it. I mean, the price increase is negligible even
if they use that extra money,
students.
If they use that extra money to get tons of content, and the streaming actually becomes so good that I don't need the DVD anymore, I'll eventually cancel the DVD. Or if the streaming gets even less quality, I'll probably keep the DVD and get Hulu Plus for at least a short period. Because while Hulu Plus, whatever, it has the entire Criterion collection. So I can get it, watch the entire Criterion collection, and then cancel it.
Yep.
This is something that's like, I think the major problem with a lot of these streaming services right now is that, they're kind of okay. It's like, hey, you pay the low price and you get a whole ton of stuff.
But there's too much balkanization of content.
Right, there's too much balkanization of content, and you don't want to pay for two at once. You don't want to pay for something you're not using. So you pay for one at a time. You use it until you've pretty much seen all the good stuff that's on there. Then you just cancel it and go to a different one, see everything they got, and cancel that, and maybe go back to the first one. It's like keep switching around, moving around, trying different things. You don't need to have Hulu Plus and Netflix at the same time for the rest of your life.
Plus, Hulu's
That's
not doing so
money.
well. My guess is that within a year or so, Hulu's going to get bought by someone like Comcast.
Who knows what's going to go on there.
My guess is a cable provider will buy Hulu and try to make it only available either for pay or for subscribers to their cable, or some bullshit like that.
I'm hoping that we will see a government bust up that will separate the media and content companies.
Net neutrality would be the first step to that.
I know, but I think that's going to be, right? How long did it take them to bust AT&T? A couple decades?
Yeah.
Right? So the media and content, like mergers have only been since late 90s-ish. They haven't been going on for that long, right? So I'm hoping that, within a decade or two, that will be the next bust up after just like the AT&T one. And basically what will happen is, for example, Time Warner will be forced to break up, right? So the internet will have to be a separate company. Time Warner Cable just have to be cable, and that's it. Only providing the infrastructure.
I'll go one step further. And cable infrastructure, internet
the TV
infrastructure
channels
should be a utility.
Yeah, and the TV channels and the newspapers and the magazines and the website, all those things are going to have to separate and be their own thing as opposed to all being one thing.
It's interesting that
the movie companies all have to separate.
A decade ago, I would have been fairly indifferent to the sentiment you've just given.
But the thing is, there's fewer and fewer of these companies each day. There's like 4 of them.
Having worked on Wall Street for almost 4 years and having learned a lot about business and a lot about corporations, I'm becoming surprisingly anti-corporate.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, shocking, isn't it?
Shocking.
The more you learn about something, the more you become disgusted with the inherent problems in its system.
See, no one has a job, but JP Morgan profits went up to $5.4 billion a quarter. That's over $20 billion a year. Gee, man, we really need to cut their taxes because, they just need more money because the reason they're not hiring people and creating jobs is because they don't have enough money just sitting around.
Except that's the Republican argument, right? Oh, if we raise taxes, people won't make new jobs. But the taxes they're talking about raising are income taxes on people, not corporations.
Right. If the companies wanted to hire people, they could. They have sitting on tons of cash. What we need is some sort of incentive to make them spend the cash. Like, spend the cash or we'll just tax it from you.
Ah.
See, that's what we should do is you should raise their taxes if they don't use it to hire people. If they use it to hire people, then that's okay. Let them, don't tax that money they use to hire people. Get rid of the payroll tax. Just have capital gains tax instead. Less payroll tax. That way, if you want to hire people, you get your money's worth if you're a company.
I paid capital gains taxes last year.
Right. But if you're a company sitting on a pile of cash, then that actually hurts you because the government will just take that cash away if you don't start using it. Force the companies to use their piles and piles of money because they don't need bigger piles of money. They already have them. They have plenty. Google, Apple, everyone's sitting on a pile of cash they're not using. If you lower their taxes, all that will happen is their piles of cash will grow and still continue to not be spent because they have nothing to spend it on except buying other companies, which doesn't make jobs. It reduces jobs because they just... when you merge companies, jobs go away.
Well, there are the other fundamental problems of there isn't enough work to do in most places, and
well, forget those problems for now. We just need to get past.
And the thing we just talked about,
we just need to get to like 2020 here.
The skill gap, where the smart people who aren't at the top of the skill boat are effectively at the bottom, and
if we can make all sorts of rules. For example, these are just random ideas that may or may not work. If a company spends its money on training and education, that's tax free. If a company spends its money on, hires a new employee for a position that did not exist, then, payroll tax exempt on that position for X time.
Even if I fire all my employees and rehire them with a dot added
those
to the end of all their titles?
Those are positions that did not exist.
Yeah.
I mean, no, but they existed.
No, there's a new position. Now there's a dot. I added a pixel.
No, your total number of employees has to go up. Close all loopholes of stupidity like that.
There's no way to close all loopholes.
Yeah, there is a way to close all loopholes. You know what it's called?
What's it called?
Scott's the judge.
We know that works out.
It does. You come into the court and Scott says, I see you used a clever loophole. I am Judge Scott. You guess. Technically, by the reading of this law, everything you did is completely within the word of the law. But you know what? I'm common sense Judge Scott, and I fuck you. That's right. You lose because I'm Scott.
Right? Fucking. That's your only punishment? You're going to fuck people?
Well, not metaphorically.
Nah.
That's
okay.
it. Okay.
So things of the day. We at Kineticon, awesome con. Things went really well. All our panelists showed up. We had over 170 panels, workshops, and all that stuff scheduled. And a good friend of ours in the forum ran a panel on video game music, and he showed me a video.
Did you leave that CD-ROM CD in the car?
No, I have that CD.
Oh, I thought you left it in the car.
I took it out of the car.
Sure you left it in the car.
I took it out of the car.
Okay.
I had it it's in my kilt.
All right.
That I wore. Anyway, he showed me a video because I was...
You mean your skirt?
I was entertaining a crowd before a panel for guests because the guests were running late. And I was like, all right, I'll show you some internet shit. And he was like, I got internet shit. And showed me some internet shit I'd never seen. The Goldfish, pretty good band, has a music video. Pretty good music video. Music video is homage to everything you listeners like, and it's pretty great, and it's all about the Jazz Police.
Yeah, the song is okay song.
I like the song.
Good song. Not
good,
not a song that would get in your head.
No, but it's a good, if I'm cruising down the road, I'd like to listen to this in the background while I'm cruising.
Okay song, but the video, excelente.
The Jazz Police, I just love.
I like anything called Jazz Police. All right, so here is the thing of the day. I'm going to be honest. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it has special powers. You see, a while ago, I noticed, right? I just noticed that the Nyan Cat, I don't think I need to do the Nyan Cat, has the exact same bass line.
It's in all your heads right now.
Of course. Has the exact same bass line as the song I Want You Back by the Jackson 5, right? Do, 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 right?
Yeah.
Right? And then it's Nyan, Nyan, Nyan. Nyan, nyan, nyan. Right? The end of the nyan.
That's like the saddest Nyan Cat.
Right, so the end of the nyan matches up. If you actually were to take a low pass filter on the Nyan Cat, you would hear that. If you listen closely, you can hear it without the pass filter. Anyway, so there was a Nyan thread that appeared, and people in the forum were going Nyan crazy, even though it's been like a month since Nyan happened.
There could be a whole study in the progression of memes, how things kind of just like they come and go. They
it was like there was the
nowhere.
original Nyan. People don't even remember with the anime girl going back and forth.
Yeah.
Right? But the Nyan Cat was a while ago. But there's been a Nyan resurgence, a rising Nyan tide. It went up, it went down, it's going up again. In the forum, there's a huge Nyan thread.
Well, no, you're seeing the same thing in ponies. There was the first push, and then it leveled off, like dropped a little bit, and then there was the second wave that went all the way through the end of the first season.
It's waning a little. It's leveling off. I don't say it's going up or down right now. It's it's leveled off. When that season starts,
oh my God,
it's gonna be an explode.
Yeah, Kineticon. 3 pony panels I scheduled. I turned away 2 more pony panels. 2 of those panels filled up, and the third one was like Friday morning and almost filled.
So anyway, I casually mentioned this discovery of the matching bass lines in the Nyan thread. And of course, somebody went ahead and comboed the audio remix.
The internet will always provide.
Yep, Cyclops Rock. What's up? And then some guy, I guess on YouTube, I don't know. See, the thing is their forum names don't match up with their other internet names, right? So R3DK9 on YouTube made a video of the Nyan Cat, and he gave him a fro. And he put the song on it, and here we have, a proud front row crew, Geeknights meme creation project that has succeeded. Good for us. So it's a homemade thing of the day. It's not one of those store-bought.
Scott, I picture in a far future, I just imagine this ad. Somebody needs to make us like a grandma sitting in a rocking chair, and she's like, sometimes you don't want a store-bought meme. You want an old-fashioned one, home-cooked.
Yeah. I got myself a pusher robot. Be careful with it. It's an antique.
So, meta moment, Kineticon is past. If you want to submit panels to Kineticon 2011, well, hold your horses, because I got to take a break. But I am going to let you in on a secret. Not a secret, really. But Kineticon was a pretty big success. We had John St. John as a guest. We had Team 4-Star. We had a lot of people who were really popular.
I never heard of Team 4-Star until this weekend.
They were really cool guys,
They were
though.
apparently really popular.
They were really cool and really easy to work with, despite the fact that due to a misunderstanding and a miscommunication, I canceled all their panels a week before the con.
Yeah.
And I had to reinstate them at con. But they were cool about it. They did everything that I needed, and they were awesome. But Kineticon went pretty well, and our department is expanding. We're going to have more panel rooms. The rooms that we have will be bigger, and we will have more workshop rooms.
If you want to come to Kineticon and work for us, being a slave dog,
We need some staff, because
we need people to sit in the panel rooms during the panels, make sure the panel rooms don't fill up over capacity, hold up a sign to let the panelists know when they have 5 minutes left.
More importantly,
fill out a form to, rate the panels and how good they were.
Here's what you need to do for us. You need to do for us what the enforcers in the theaters at PAX do for PAX.
Help them with the technology.
And also, what we really need is I can't foist it off on the rest of the front row crew anymore, because 1, they're doing more and more panels and actual stuff at the con, and 2, one of the biggest complaints / requests we got was that people wanted more of our panels. And we can't do panels when I got to listen to a radio to go deal with disasters all weekend. So we need some staff. If you would like to be staff for us at Kineticon, email us and we can
Kineticon
talk.
2012.
2012.
That's a year from now.
Yeah. Quetzalcoatl and all that.
Yeah.
End times.
Meanwhile, coming up in just a few weeks, the best convention of all time. We don't need to say what it is. Let's just go on.
Scott, you know what the worst thing is? Think back to this moment. On Sunday, when it's over, you'll think back to this and be like, God damn, that was fast.
I'll just be like, fuck yeah, 6 months, bitches.
Oh, my God. There's going to be another PAX right after PAX.
Why'd you have to say what it was? People know.
They know.
You spoiled it.
Yeah. Luckily, you can't get in. It's sold out. It sold out so long ago, don't even try.
Is it?
I will say this. At PAX...
Can't you buy like a Sunday pass?
I think everything is sold out.
Let me check it.
I'm pretty sure everything is sold out.
I'm checking it.
So we are doing one big panel at PAX. We are doing at noon on Saturday a brand new lecture titled Discover the Forgotten Masters. It will involve at one point me and Scott playing Outlaw, the Atari game, in front of the entire crowd.
It's sold out.
Yeah. We're working out the details. It is reasonably likely that we will be, along with a lot of other people you may have heard of, doing how to play sessions in a new workshop room that is an experiment at this year's PAX.
Are we 100% sure this is actually going to happen as we think it is?
The workshop room is already set. I've been talking to Father Fletch, who's the head of that department and all that.
All right. Is he actually a father?
Our involvement and all that stuff is still, tentative. We're working it all out. But there's a good chance we and other cool people and some enforcers, everyone, will be doing sessions like, you want to learn how to play Tigers and Euphrates? We will teach this entire room. And then, oh, look. There's a lot of
there have been
copies of
many
Tigers and
times at PAX
Euphrates.
where I've taught a game multiple times, or I taught 3 different people at 3 separate tables how to play Agricola simultaneously.
It was pretty amazing to watch.
Right, so the thing, we were like, hey, let's just teach everyone how to play all these games one at a time in a room, and then they can break up and play them very easily.
And it turns out that PAX was already working on this concept.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see how this goes. The Book Club book, which we will do a show on outside of the stream.
Yeah, Book Club is no longer a Thursday show. It is now its own show, which means we're desperate for more Thursday show ideas. If you couldn't tell by the fact that this is a show about nothing.
It's a show about stuff.
Yeah, good job, Rim.
Yeah.
It's all you.
It is all me. So we will do, from now on, we're going to take all the old Book Club books, and we're gonna
hopefully do one book club per month, just a show on its own. It'll appear on who knows what day, sometime towards the end of the month, and maybe I guess towards the middle of the month actually, because what's today? Today's like July
14th.
Right, so around the middle of the month, a book club episode will just appear every month that won't actually be on any particular day. It'll be its own episode.
But one thing I'm going to do is take the audio that is just about the books out of the old Thursday shows we did on this shit and put them in that feed. So if you want to catch up on the book club, do the old book clubs, you don't have to wade through us talking about 5-year-old news.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna do some website rearranging now that I'm not busy for a couple weekends.
Yeah, we have to finish that PAX event we're running.
Yeah, that's it though.
Yep. Oh, what else do we got? PAX East is coming up. About 7 months. We'll be there.
MagFest is before then.
MagFest just launched its new website. MagFest has stepped up its game. They're in the Gaylord, which is a real hotel. It probably won't smell like butt like the old one did.
It will be on January 5th through 8th.
5th through 8th.
2012.
I'm already booking our travel and everything. We are going to be there doing some panels and lectures. John St. John is going to be a guest, as always.
MagFest X. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm actually pretty excited. MagFest is like, other than PAX and PAX, it's my 3rd favorite con right now.
Yeah, we get so much gaming done there.
Oh my God. And for all the problems the con has, it goes really well because it's all people our age who just kind of do what they're doing. The only problem is that it smelled like a butt.
I think at this MagFest, I've got a plan.
You got a plan?
One day is going to be Day of Arcade. One day is going to be Day of RPG, and one day is going to be Day of Board.
There's 4 days.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah. Yeah. I
forgot
about
MagFest was 4 days.
That was perhaps, the fact that it was 4 days is like what really tossed it for me. Because I remember we got there Thursday and I stayed up until like 3 a.m. Thursday night just playing games. And then Friday until 3 a.m. And then Saturday.
This is a hotel con.
Saturday I went to the con in the morning and I felt great. And I was like, wait a minute. It's only Saturday.
And this time we'll be in the hotel and not on a shuttle bus.
Yep, no shuttle bus.
I wonder what the elevators would be like.
I don't even care. Elevator party. Elevator party.
All right. So, Mr. This show about nothing.
So what you been up to, Scott? What you doing?
Going to work.
Yeah.
Coming home.
Coming home. Riding your bike.
Doing cons.
Not
having time to do laundry or clean my apartment.
My apartment.
I didn't even have time to push the button on the dishwasher that cleans the dishes.
You should see the room we're sitting in right now. It looks like it has been destroyed.
It has been destroyed.
There is stuff piled up everywhere. It's kind of a disaster.
You should see the pile of trash in front of my front door that is from boxes that have been destroyed.
I've got like 20 boxes scattered around the living room that need to be broken down and taken down to the recycling area.
Yeah.
I blame partly that we're doing these game nights and the Nerd NYC stuff I'm going to again and cons.
Nerd NYC is a new website.
Yeah, Nerd NYC is stepping up their game too.
Everyone it's I think it's the time of game upstepping.
Huh, maybe we'll be stepping up our game. Maybe there's a thing in the nearing-ish future that we may be working on.
Hopefully this weekend.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Nah, I guess I'm basically going to be, now that I actually have weekends where there's nothing, I'm going to be spending all my weekend time pushing real hard.
Well, what do we got to push? We got Turn Flicked.
Yep.
That's kind of our big, every time we've been interviewed by other press, what they always ask is, so, you guys are clearly experts on games. How come you haven't made a game?
How come movie critics don't make movie critics don't make movies and food critics don't cook?
Yeah, so we're gonna.
You're such a good food critic. Why don't you go and open up a 5-star restaurant?
So we're gonna do that. We're gonna be the food critic who opens a 1-star restaurant.
That's right.
It's getting there.
It's a half-star restaurant right now.
But we're playing some pretty awesome in quotes, old war game to learn about old war games.
How old is it? It's not that old.
It's oldish.
No, it's from like 2000
It got re-released.
Oh, really?
I think it got re-released. I was reading stuff about it.
Here comes Board Game Geek.
All right, you check out the Board Game Geek. But aside from Turnflicked, we got, we always
Why are you
say,
talking about games on non-Tuesday?
we always say that we want to run conventions better, and we complain about conventions that are run poorly, and we have a history of stepping up and putting up when people tell us to step up, put up, or shut up.
Games from 2007.
That's pretty old.
Okay.
It's 2011.
Yeah, that's the re-release.
Yeah, when's the original game?
2006.
Oh, old, ancient. In 2006, I had just left college.
Yeah.
I was working for IBM still, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, we are like, Otakon doesn't really like us anymore. They don't want us to come back.
Man, but actually, Otakon busted out their guest announcement at the last minute, and I was sort of like, the only one that really hurts, though. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, obviously, but the only one I really wanted to see very badly is Makoto Shinkai.
I do want to hear.
Otakon's actually this weekend.
I do want to hear.
We are going right now to it.
Oh my God!
If we were going to it,
I kind of, it does pain me. It's been 2 Otakons we've not gone to, and I do miss that ritual. It was almost a decade of my life. Otakon was like this culmination of the summer.
Yep.
And no. But Kineticon, said, hey, put up, and now we're the heads of the department. We run all the panels and workshops, and sometimes people ask us why we don't run our own con. And that's one of the things I've been working on.
Yeah.
No details, no date, no, not saying anything other than that there will be sometime in the nearing-ish future an announcement that we are going to run a convention in New York City.
It could be a room with some tables and board games for an hour. It could be a real convention. It's somewhere in between the two.
My goal is to have a one-day convention that has some sort of panel or lecture-ish programming independent of a gaming area, and maybe a small vending area, and maybe 500 people.
Yep.
That's my goal.
In one of the 5 boroughs of Manhattan.
Yeah, I can tell you it's not going to be in Staten Island.
In one of the 4 real boroughs of Manhattan. And not Yonkers.
Yeah, not Yonkers, the 6th borough.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming up along Inns. If you are interested in helping, don't bother me yet because the logistics are way ahead of that point. Unless you have money. If you want to help with money, you're welcome to help with money.
If you want to help with your hands, wait.
Yep. If you want to help with being famous and want to be a guest, yeah, you can help then too. But otherwise, no helping.
Yet.
So I've been watching. Notice how I'm threading this nothing show along. Old Netflixes while I do stuff. Because I can't watch Fist of the North Star while I'm working on stuff because there's subtitles.
I know, that's the one problem with subtitles is you can't watch them simultaneously. You have to give it your full attentions.
So I've been watching a whole bunch of old Kids in the Hall.
Uh-huh.
I was ragging on them in the forum a while ago when I said that 80s comedy, by and large, sucks by today's standards.
Why would you say that?
Name good 80s comedy compared to bad 80s comedy. There are huge exceptions. George Carlin was hilarious in the 80s.
Does Richard Pryor count?
Yeah. What bit are you thinking of, and when did he first perform it?
He's so 70s, 80s. It's tough.
I know. Like Kids in the Hall, a lot of the stuff I like from them was from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all over the. But anyway, I said something to the effect of, I don't know how well Kids in the Hall will hold up. I think I have to rescind that. It's holding up pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
It's funnier than the whitest kids you know who are okay.
Yeah, all right.
It's okay. Yeah. Though I haven't found any new stand-up comedians lately. I think Russell Peters is the last new stand-up comedian I know
They're mostly like, it seems like people don't really do stand-up so much. They mostly go and, because short internet videos have taken over, right? So
yeah.
It's mostly about doing a skit or producing a funny video of some sort, which usually does not involve just standing there telling jokes, right? I mean, I guess there was that guy who did the terrorist skeleton puppet. That's effectively, it's stand-up, but it's also ventriloquism.
Vaudeville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got pretty popular. He's okay, I guess.
Yeah. Though I did see a good bit of I was watching the video from Uncle Yo doing his stand-up at Kineticon since the room filled up. He's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
You practice at anything, you'd be good at it.
Yeah.
He
Some
practices
people.
comedy every day.
So I was gonna make a joke about Control Alt Delete, but I figured it's too soon.
He's very, very good at what he does.
Yeah, kind of like how a White Castle burger is extremely excellent at being a White Castle burger.
Yeah, I could work at a White Castle for a very long time, and I would become the master of making a slider. I would not become the master.
No, you would not
be
the master of making a slider. You would become a master of making a White Castle.
Right, exactly. But I would not become the master of making the best burger in the world. Even though I've made zillions of burgers.
So good burger. Sweet potato fries now.
All right, because they're in season.
Yeah, you know what? Pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good burger's still a little bit too expensive.
Yeah, I got money.
I've been going to Island Burger.
I'm waiting for that Potbellies to open up.
Island Burger.
Island Burger. My coworkers were talking about Island Burger.
Yeah?
They were like, we were talking about good burger joints. I was like, Schnippers, one of the best. And they were like, Island Burger. And I was like, yeah, Island Burger's good, but it's too far away.
It's very close to me.
Yeah, not so close to me.
You should come over.
I should, but I might be further away starting sometime next week.
It's not my problem.
Yeah. Of course, I'll be close enough to Chinatown to get 5 dumplings for $1 instead of 5 dumplings for $5.
There's no Island Burger in Chinatown.
No, there's not. There are similar things, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Show About Nothing.
You got nothing?
You got nothing?
You got nothing?
It's just all you.
You can't just talk about something?
What do we have to talk about?
I don't know. Does anything happen to you, ever?
I bought a solid state drive.
All right, so at Connecticut, right, John St. John was a guest, and he had to do his panel, which was in a tiny-ass room because I messed up the numbers on what I flopped a big room in a small room. So all the stuff I put in the big room ended up being in the small room and vice versa.
Good job.
Yeah, that was probably my biggest failing ever. But John St. John came. I got him into the big room, filled the room anyway, giant crowd, and he forgot his iPad, which he needed to do one of the bits in his panel. So he went to get it for like 20 minutes. So I'm standing in the room at the front of the stage. It's a Blues Brothers situation. You know, everyone's waiting. So I had to entertain the crowd for a while, and I realized that the best thing to do in that situation is to tell anecdotes about the person who is about to come back and prime the audience to fuck with them.
We've done that often. We have a great deal of practice in that department.
So
From
I was
our
like,
anime club days.
I was like, you should ask him about some ponies. I hear he's a pony fan. And people asked him about ponies. I think someone posted that in our forum.
There was a video on YouTube of him reading, basically he was reading the song of My Little Pony lyric. He wasn't singing it.
They asked him to do that, to read it in his voice, and he did.
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
What was weird, though, and it's funny because, we're like D-level celebrities, me and Scott. John St. John is like he's a step and a half, 2 steps above us celebrity-wise. Like, he's up there compared to us.
Yep.
So it's funny that he's like we know each other, like we're chill, like we're like, hey dude. If I walked by him in the hall and I was like, yo, and we like fist bump and just walk by, people who are walking with me, like panelists I'm taking to the room, be like, oh my God, you know John St. John? How do you? And it was kind of hilarious. Like I was digging that. I'll be honest. I was eating that up. I was like, no, we cool.
I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. I always enjoy watching people who haven't learned to deal with celebrities. Like, they don't realize that he's just a guy. We're just guys. I mean, we have fans who come up to us and, like, don't know what to say. They're like, sign my thing, please.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Granted, you seem to hate our fans. Cute girls come up to us on a regular basis, and they're like, we're huge fans of Geeknights. Oh, my God. And Scott's like, what the fuck do you listen to Geeknights for?
That's right. Why do you listen to Geeknights? What the fuck is wrong with you? You could do a lot better things than listen to this show.
They're like, Scott,
especially this episode. This episode is awful.
Can I have your autograph? And they're like, Scott's like, what the fuck? Why? Do you want me to scribble on a piece of paper?
Well, I don't understand why anyone wants any autograph. I have, even if the most famous person in the world, I have no interest in having them scribble on a piece of paper.
I enjoy signing autographs because it's a weird. It's a thing that when other people see you signing an autograph, they wonder who the fuck you are. There's something funny about that.
I have no interest in collecting anything.
Because remember our first PAX when we did that secret panel after our panel?
Yeah.
And Luke Crane was there, and Jared Sorensen was there. Some listeners came up to us, and they had bought Burning Wheel because they just played it because we told them to. And they asked us to sign the Burning Wheel book, when Luke Crane was standing right there.
Yeah.
And Luke looks over, and I see him looking at me, and I'm signing this book, and his look on his face of like, why? What the fuck?
But yeah, it's like I don't understand any autographs, period, right? Like if I meet a famous person that I actually care about, my number one interest is to ask them questions no one else has the balls to ask them. That is what I do, right?
So how long is it?
Not questions like that.
No one else is asking those questions.
Questions like, that they probably won't answer.
So you're famous for many anime, but in particular, when you voice acted as so-and-so on Crystal Triangle.
Exactly. That's sort of the angle you go for. Ask them about the weird thing that no one else remembers. Ask them about, something they did, or ask about like inside things that people wouldn't normally know, right? Like for example, if I could talk to the pony people, right? I would be like, hey, look, everybody knows, there's sort of like this mystique that there are executives, TV executives who hand down decrees that you must follow. And there's a clash between the creative animators who want to go wee and the executives who say sell toys, right? But those executives are real people, right? They're human beings. Who are they, right? What do they actually say to you? What are these decrees? How do they come down? How does what's the reality of that relationship, right? Nobody asked that, right? But that's the kind of thing that I would ask. It's like I want to know how it really is. I want to know the deal. No one else tries to find out the deal. They ask stupid questions like, why are you so awesome? How can I become a voice actor? Tell me a funny story. Let me self-promote myself and not actually ask a question.
I was about to say, very rarely do they ask, why are you so awesome? They ask, I'm actually super awesome too.
Tell me about something related to my awesomeness that's maybe related to you.
Actually, the question we've gotten most that is starting to get annoying, and I feel like I need to specifically head this one off. Any panel, doesn't matter what the topic is, anime, gaming, whatever.
Have you played X? Have you seen X?
Yep, they're all, and the thing is, if those things were directly relevant to what we just talked about, like really strongly, that would be fine. They never are. Never ask that question of anyone ever.
Yeah. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of that? Have you played this?
Well, there's one exception. There's one exception. When we were at that panel at the first MagFest where the guy was like, so, you might want to get, like, what if you gave your players in a D&D game a little bit of control of the narrative? Like a little bit, like it might break your game.
Have you heard of Burning Wheel?
Scott raised his hand. Scott, you basically asked a question. You were like, have you ever heard of Burning Wheel, Inspectors, Lacuna, Dogs in the Vineyard? You just listed.
Have you ever heard of any
games.
RPG besides D&D? Maybe he's heard of White Wolf or something.
That guy was in trouble when he was like, I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons since 2002. I was like,
I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons since 1990.
I've owned the D&D book since the 80s.
Something.
I had the Dungeons & Dragons Encyclopedia when I was fucking
And the
young.
weird thing is because he didn't seem that much younger than us.
No.
But I've been playing D&D since 1990 something.
Yeah.
Elementary or middle school, I think I had something.
I was obsessed with it. I owned it all. I didn't really get to play a real game of D&D until middle school.
I played it when I was 13. So 1995, I played Dungeons & Dragons.
Yep, middle school is when I really got to do it, and then high school I had real D&D.
I played real 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons in the year of 1995.
That was my favorite D&D. Though I had the rules cyclopedia and I wanted to play regular Dungeons & Dragons, I never got anyone to play it with me. I ran it for a few people, but they always hated it.
I played it more seriously in 1997 or 98.
And then 2000 happened.
I think it was 97.
And we played it with Damn It Dwayne.
Yep.
Damn it, Dwayne.
So 95, 97, and 2000 were my D&Ds.
I almost want to play like an old school D&D game, but then I remember how great Burning Wheel is.
I want to play an old school D&D game and not play it at all as a role-playing game and play it only as a dungeon-y game and mostly concentrate on using, not just doing maximum average damage, but maybe like everyone's a wizard.
Yep.
Or sorcerer.
I use Mage Hand to turn the switch across from the pit.
Everyone is magical classes only, and go relatively high levels so you can get tons of spells. Or maybe fuck memorization, you can just cast your spells.
We could just do a dungeon crawl.
Yeah, the thing is, I sort of feel like if we want to do the dungeon crawl only...
Micro dungeons?
No, micro dungeons, yes, but you could do micro dungeons with Burning Wheel better. But play maybe one of those stupid games like Descent or something.
No, because those abstracted too much. They're too polished. They're wow. In those, like, it's so abstracted, you're not actually doing anything. Like, it's just the abstracted action of attacking is all that matters. In an old school like D&D dungeon crawl, like Tomb of Horrors, it comes down to I walk 15 feet forward, and then I pull out my 10-foot pole, and I stand on this square when I push the button. That shit is what I want to do. If I'm not at that level, I
want to do shit like, all right, a large tree blocks your path.
I cast Big B's crushing fist and get rid of that tree.
Yeah, or, all right, I summon termites. It's like you get really, when you have D&D, you can get all creative with the magics and just come up with ridiculous shit. There's a gelatinous cube in the hallway. I tricked the bad guys into going into it. Stuff like that.
I remember the first D&D game I ran for the crew. I don't know if you were there or not, but damn it, Dwayne was supposed to run our D&D game. He didn't show up. It was like the first or second RWAG. And I remember I just made up this dungeon, and the whole combination of it, because it was like I was doing it off the top of my head, it was like 10 minutes long, was there was a skeleton that attacks the party. But really, it was a skeleton suspended in a gelatinous cube.
Gelatinous cube is my favorite, if you couldn't tell. Except for Death Knight, also good.
Death Knights are really good because they can just cast Fireball for some fucking reason.
Can't they cast Disintegrate?
They can Fireball you too. I'm pretty sure
they can Disintegrate you.
Pretty sure they can Fireball you.
Anyway.
They
can also have the horrible touch of death, if I'm not mistaken. I have to go check my monsters manual when I get home.
Yeah?
I have a copy.
I think that's enough nothing. It's about an hour worth of nothing.
You're done with the nothing episode?
It's been an hour.
The mishmash of all geekeries?
It's been an hour.
Yeah, you better come up with some Thursday ideas. Otherwise, Geeknights Thursday is going to get canceled.
I wanted to talk about swimming pools.
What are you going to say about swimming pools?
How to find bodies in them, for one.
We already did that.
Yeah. Other stuff.
Sorry for the crappy episode. Blame Rim.
You know what's going to be funny? Every time we've done a crap episode, we've been like, this is shit. People like it more than the episodes we think are good.
Blame Rim.
Yep. Blame me.
Or give credit to Rim.
It's all me.
And then we will return to regularly good Geek Nights again.
Regularly scheduled Geek Nights.
Next week.
Some Radio Free Equestria is going to start back up again.
Monday, Wednesday.
And all these other pony videos I promised. And PAX. We won't do a show right before PAX.
No.
FYI.
No kidding.
This has been Geek Nights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geek Nights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geek Nights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geek Nights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.